No, we
We are live.
Hi, Jack.
Thank you, everyone, for attending the Economic Development Corporation Audit and Finance Committee on July 23rd at 4 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order at 4:11. Thank you for being here, everybody. Our first order of business is the approval of the June 16th meeting minutes. They've been previously provided to us. If there's no questions or anything, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second, any discussion? If none, please say aye if you're in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, the motion carries. Move on to the review and approval of the June 26 financials, which also have been provided in our package, and I would turn it over to Deanne. I do remember your name. I was gonna say staff. I've been known to forget things, but not you.
Good afternoon. Financials look good. If we're looking at the statement of financial position it's a comparison to December of 2025. We currently have in liquid cash just under 500,000. It's a bit of a decrease from last month. $100,000 decrease from last month. Our accounts receivable is 115,994. That is all monthly service contracts. The county is paying us quarterly, and I'm told that check is actually going in the mail this week for the second quarter. So, there's a little bit of a lag there, but that's okay. The prepaids, that's 24,000 plus the 3,800, which is a security deposit. That 24,000 includes the 7,000 that we paid to sponsor the Albany Business Review's economic North Country Economic Power Breakfast. And then the rest of the prepaids are all regular prepaids that we have every month for health, rent, and business insurances. The right of use asset of 86,000, and that is offset by two line items in your liabilities. The 41,000 is your short term, and the 44,700 is your long term. That's the lease liability. Our accounts payable is a little over $3,000. All nothing unusual there. Same thing with their current liabilities. That's 6,700. That's those are what are they? They're accrued expenses. I did put a placeholder in that accrued expenses of 3,965. There's a placeholder of I think it's 1,250 for marketing expenses. There's usually a lag in the billing from BM. So I will clear that 1,250 if that's not what it is, or I will raise it if it's more. And I should know that by the board meeting or by our next audit finance meeting. So our total equity stands at 789,000. Includes the same, no changes to the board designated funds. For the statement of activities for our month to date, there's nothing unusual here. I will draw your attention to the total grant under income. So you see the 6,833. That is, it's kind of, most of that is a pass-through to the under program expenses consultant. You see the 65,080. That is the amount that we're paying for the consultant in childcare.
6,500.
Did I do that again? On film too, sorry. But anyway, those wash each other out. I will note that most of our utilities and overhead expenses, everything's creeping up. So where are we now against our budget for those expenses? It's total overhead. Yeah, we're over by 2,000. That's just the way it is. We'll try to.
Are they going up to be in this building with some of the occupancy levels going down?
We pay the same amount of common area support regardless.
That's
Our energy costs are higher. Just because.
Because rate's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Spectrum went up. National Grid went up. There's a little bit more for our IT photocopier lease went up. Yeah, a little bit of everything. So how that plays out for the year. Oh. Is that in here somewhere?
Month to date.
I have month to date. I don't have yours. So our year-to-date, our net income is 27,914. It's 6,000 behind budget. The shortfall in membership only appears offset by the amount that we received for the Rural Child Care Initiative grant. You know, that 18,000, it's a pass-through, and you see it on both the income and expense side. However, conservative spending has kept program expenses generally below budget, so we're only slightly behind our projected net income for the
Who's
year.
the consultant on that you?
Mary Feldman.
Mary Feldman. I introduced her to her earlier. She's at,
1099?
so she comes here maybe once a week and works out of the office. She spends the majority of her time in the field, working across the entire park on these childcare initiatives. She's in meetings everywhere. Like today, she's in Warrensburg with Small Tales and a number of people in Warrensburg talking about how they do it. But we pay for her essentially, I mean, 65 a year is probably half time if you were to net that out. $65,000 a year. We get far more.
We don't have an
probably
idea.
from her, but that's what she's billing us for.
I'll fix it. Yeah, just to note, like, there was a mistake. This one with the smaller print, that's the fiscal year.
Even though it says it now.
Yeah, it says
Month
month
to
to
date,
date,
yeah.
It's just,
We're a calendar year, not a fiscal.
we're a calendar.
All right, so if I were to just net out everything she just said, we continue to manage expenses to the slight decrease in income. We did get some, new membership check this past month.
Yes.
We allocated some part of that because we're past the membership point of the year where they get the full benefit. We allocated some part of that to sponsorship.
Oh, nice.
So some part of that will be membership. When you look at it, the line item, some will go to sponsorship. I actually think we just met as a team to talk about many of the events, which tend to be back end of the year for us. We do a number of them in the fall. I think the opportunity for us to raise sponsorships in those events will probably right us on the other side of this, but no matter what, we're managing the expenses to essentially line up with the revenues.
All right, so really what we're all here for is the insurance, business insurance policies. So I will say that these, we met with 3 different agencies. They came in, they provided quotes. These are the same quotes that we provided you last month, but much better organized. Jack Putnam, our intern, returning for a second summer, has done an extraordinary job with anything that we needed to do, and he did a great job with
Yeah,
this.
if you guys haven't met Jack, Jack's in final years of a graduate degree, or a finance degree. Fairfield, yeah. He's also a college athlete there, and a
What do
neighbor.
you play
I run cross country.
for you?
And Jack came here last summer and worked a lot on the CFA applications. I think he and Aiden actually wrote Ginger's. There's,
Did she come back?
no, but Jack's this summer has been remarkable in terms of the analysis he's done. Literally every major project we've been involved in, he's had a hand in it. So a lot of the analytic work that you see here, he helped us produce.
So you went to 2 brokers?
We went to 3. Okay. So Northern Insurance Company, Associates of Glens Falls, and Upstate Insurance. And all very good quotes, all very different. Hard to sort of compare, they're not apples to apples. And so I think the chart looks really good. So what you see on this chart is, let's just walk from left to right. Evanston, that's the town of Queensbury parcels. There is no other policy that's going to give us the rate that we get with them. And that just covers liability for the parcels that were.
These are the Queensbury Industrial Park, the ones that we currently have 3 under potential contract.
Essentially, both parts, right?
Well, Dix Avenue and Queensbury, the Tech Meadows ones are owned by the city, we just manage.
AmTrust is a workers' comp policy. That's our current policy. Chubb is for directors and officers. And then we have a Continental or a CNA policy that is for the liability for the actual space. We got a quote when you see Hartford, that's the one that we received from upstate New York, Aerobank. Where you see Travelers, that's the quote we received from Northern Insuring. And then at Bay was the quote that we got from Associates of Glens Falls. On that at Bay cyber policy, they actually had 3 tiers. There was a $1 million coverage, a $2 million, and $3 million.
So yeah, what initiated all this is we looked to expand our coverage into cyber where we were not, in my mind, in any way adequately covered. And so we asked them to provide us quotes against not only what our current portfolio was, but primarily to try to add that coverage.
We're sitting on just under $1 million. I think $1 million policy is appropriate for us. That's for the cybersecurity, plus we have, it's combined with all these other policies. So are you prepared to talk about this?
Of course. So currently, they're for the first 4, the Vanston, Amtrust, Chubb, and Continental. That's what you're currently paying for. At the bottom, it's just labeled "Stay the same" at $7,668.50. The recommended policy that we found would be a different combination of staying with a Vanston, but switching from GL to Hartford/Upstate, and then getting our D&O plus the cyber from Travelers. And so that combined would actually end up being $193 cheaper while also getting cyber and the same amount of D&O coverage.
So that's this Travelers,
Mhm.
Evanston,
In Hartford.
In Hartford.
and Hartford.
When's your workers' comp up?
It actually just renewed. All of our policies renew in June.
So, and we renewed them knowing that we just didn't have the time to make the change ahead of that.
So I don't know how, also the quotes have expired. I don't know how much they're going to change. I don't think they will change.
Are these all auditable?
Are they all auditable?
Do they come in and audit them, or do they just?
Oh, yeah,
Charge
well,
what we charge.
the workers' comp audits us and,
There's a GL?
I've never watched one.
no, I don't think we do.
We've
that
gotten a
one.
paper audit on the property once in the tenure that I've been here.
Right, that wasn't that long ago, and they asked us to put signs up somewhere.
And cyber?
Yeah, no, I think
that
we
doesn't.
get, they ask us for like certificates of liability and whatnot, but it's not, no.
From your
From the
consultant?
GL, yeah.
Because they charge you usually workers' comp on that. FYI.
Yeah, at the workers' comp, we're doing the audit right now, actually.
I think what we want to make sure that we're engaging you on is we believe $1 million for the cyber coverage is adequate. It's $1 million more than we have today. We believe after looking at all these policies, the ones we're recommending are the right ones, not only in terms of value, but in terms of coverage. Quite honestly, I'd be comfortable with any of the 3 brokers acting as our point of contact, which would be far more responsive than our existing broker, because I know it's in the sales cycle, but I mean, we have interactions with them weekly. We still have trouble getting somebody on the phone with our existing. I think it's best case that we would save money here. We have expired quotes, and we also put things together in ways that were slightly different than they proposed. And so they may come back to us and say, well, if you don't take our package exactly as we propose, we may actually charge you slightly more. But if we can come anywhere near what we are currently experiencing and get $1 million for the cyber coverage, I think that's a victory. And Deanne's been working on this for weeks. Jack has done a lot of work on this over the last, say, 2 weeks. This is probably the deepest dive we've ever done on our insurance.
It's great. Nice job.
So the proposal is, or what you're recommending is we do Evanston, Hartford, and Travelers. And the 3 of those totaled would be the $7,475.50 annual.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
You get far more coverage.
Okay.
And that is all under Northern.
No, that would be shared between Northern and Upstate.
Which I kind of like.
Yeah,
We'd be
that's good.
we'd be doing our D&O and employee liability and that's directors and officers and employee, and our cybersecurity with Northern, and we'd be doing all the rest through Upstate. Right.
And the main difference of this one is it does come with $1 million in umbrella coverage, which wasn't previously.
So
really
that's
nice
something
to
that
have.
we discussed that might, if we don't take their whole package, that might.
It's $448
Okay.
for umbrella.
Well,
Oh,
I would opt
take
to
that.
take it
I
would
if they will
suggest
provide it to us.
That's not much.
Right now, we're gonna go back to them saying this is what we would like. But if we passed a resolution to support this, I'd like it to include the ability for us to include coverage is slightly different than they said at the quoted value, particularly on the umbrella coverage.
And if we vote yes on this today, is it sufficient for you to be able to go and finalize this deal prior to our August meetings?
Well, there's no frame of reference for it, but I believe that it is. What you would essentially be doing when we brought it to the full board is saying, this is what we reviewed. It's up to us as a staff to do this. As far as I can tell, I haven't ever seen any resolution that says, I direct you to go get this kind of coverage, or I direct you to change your carriers. So, we don't bring a resolution to you when we're looking at a new internet provider.
And it's within the budget that we've already
Right.
approved, so you're actually,
I wanted somebody other than us to see it, particularly in terms of whether we felt like we had enough cyber coverage. So I was looking for your input and less so your permission, because we have to make sure we're adequately insured no matter what.
So I do want to, what we've calculated is less than what we're paying now, at 7,200. I would like to sort of approve the potential for it to actually be higher when the way that we have thrown the packages around. Like, it's no longer any one company is getting 5 policies with us. Now we're changing it. It's 2 policies with one and 3 policies with the other, and I don't know how that's going to shake out. And we do have to add the 400 for the umbrella policy. So
That's.
I do want to leave some wiggle room for it to maybe not be 7,200.
So I essentially what we're telling you is that we recommend this path that we're throwing in front of you, which I believe will be just over $8,000, which will be within a few $100s of what we're paying today for far greater coverage.
Yeah.
And one of 2 things to feel, number one, if you feel comfortable with that and would share with the board that you had an opportunity to review it and felt that it was adequate. And secondarily, to make sure that you feel comfortable that $1 million is enough of cyber coverage. I can't justify more than that. So that's what I'm recommending.
Also, we can change it next year if we.
So is that a resolution that you would be able to write and say, so moved to the resolution that you've suggested?
Well, I think all I'm looking for is a resolution that says that you reviewed
Yeah.
and endorsed the
plan.
plan. Yeah.
So I make that motion.
I'll second.
Yeah, this does not have, we're not sending a resolution to the board.
No, this is simply for here.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I grunted. You couldn't hear my grunt down there?
Opposed, abstained, that motion carries.
Kathy, before we move on to the next item, we need to approve the June financials.
Thank you.
Yes.
If there's no other discussion, I'd ask for a motion to approve the June 26 financials.
So moved.
So move by Laura, second by Judy. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, that motion carries.
Thank you.
Laura even woke up to say yes.
I look like, guys. So now we'll go on to the EDC financial projections, work in progress.
It's just for you to see. It's a lot of guesswork. It's a
We
work in
begin our
progress.
meetings, our budget meetings with all the various entities next month. I have a schedule with the county. I anticipate that we will be asked to reduce marginally, because that's what I'm watching in every department budget discussion there. The city has scheduled a discussion about how they plan on doing economic development, which I haven't been invited to, but I know has been scheduled. It's okay. They have their own conversation about it.
Is it by committee or I haven't done?
Well, I suspect the way that it works now, it would go through a finance committee, but Jeff called me and said, I have this meeting set up. And all he was doing was letting me know that it had been set up.
Okay.
I think there will be some opportunity for us to engage in the process, whether it's at the committee or at the mayor's office. I do plan on advocating that we move off of our current plan, which is $10,000, which doesn't in any way cover what we do for them. I don't know whether there will be any discussion about whether we revisit some of the things we were talking about before. So in that particular case, I plan on advocating for more, not less. in Queensbury, we continue
We've got
to,
a special board meeting on Tuesday, you might want to come to that too.
Okay.
8 a.m.
I also, like, we're in the year 2 of a 3-year contract with Queensbury. Or did we just enter into year 3?
We just entered year 3, so
Yeah.
it's good to 20.
Yeah, so we're in the lowest amount, which is half of what we were originally making, 57.
Less than.
My son, yeah, 114 now.
Yeah, but I anticipate that we would pick up discussions of what would follow that 3-year budget with whoever wins the election in November, and do that in the 6 months between there and when the contract expires.
It's a weird contract date, isn't it? It's like June,
Yeah,
June
their
1st?
fiscal year is July.
July.
Who's going to win, do you think?
Around, I don't know.
We're preparing, we're
no
preparing for
numbers?
either. Yeah.
There's no numbers out there yet to,
But anything that we share with John, we also share with the 2 candidates in terms of plans or budgets.
and that's Jean and somebody else,
Bill Ennis.
and Jean.
We will continue to fine tune our financials to match what we perceive to be the likely revenues that will come. We're also in the process of applying for a number of grants, and that will affect us.
Are you doing that through the 730, the REDC?
Well, so 2 of them will be study grants, which go to ESD, but they don't necessarily go through the REDC. The Power Up grant that was associated with the additional power supply to the riverfront of Glens Falls may be affected by Finch's announcement. And so we're having some discussion about that. Right now, we've suspended work on that while we await that, and we have a meeting scheduled with Finch, the mayor, and Kerry Warner in early August. The child care grant was originally designed to be a 2-year grant, but it was only allocated 1 year, which means that we'll have to revisit that with the Adirondack Community Foundation in the fall to determine whether or not they're likely to extend that grant for another year. But I believe it's very likely that they will. So what is likely to occur next year is a couple of study grants, one around the lake, one around, as soon as Finch made their announcement they were closing the pulp mill, I contacted the governor's representative as well as ESD and said we'd like to get a study going to look at the alternate uses of the excess timber that will now not have a market. And they immediately signaled their support and said, bring us whatever your plan is as quickly as possible. The complicating factor in both those study grants is that there's a match that's associated. You don't get 100% of that money from the state. You generally have to match it to some degree.
Does it have to be government match?
No.
Or there ever be private industry match?
Yes, and so I'm building the coalition right now around the timber work. I met with the woman that leads the Empire Forest Product Association, EFSPA. They're the professional organization that many of the loggers and the end users of timber, including sawmills, belong to. They have signaled their support. Whether or not that's financial or simply support over the idea of a study is still in discussion. I have started those conversations with Finch too about potentially being a partner in the funding of this. And we'll engage many of the communities in the park that have a financial stake in this.
A lot of them.
And so I suspect that we'll build a coalition here of potential suppliers and potentially partners and potentially be able to have little or no financial obligation on the match of that one.
Okay.
But on the lake-related one, that's a conversation about whether or not the LGA and Rensselaer would continue to be full partners in that or not. And I'm in conversations with them about that.
Concerning the pulp, would Finch, I would think that the state of New York would be interested to know what percentage of that pulp comes from the Adirondack Park.
Oh, they know.
They
It's
do
all-
know?
Yeah.
Is it
Um,
50-60% or?
Oh, yeah, even north of that.
It is?
Yeah, there's a meaningful portion coming from Vermont.
Negative impact on the park.
Oh, yeah, it definitely will. Well, it has a really decentralized impact, but in aggregate, it's significant because it's one of the few things that can still go on in the
In the
park.
park.
And so what we're looking to do is to quickly find new markets. One of the ones we're suggesting is modular home development out of some part of this stock, where we would advocate for investment in a modular home builder in the park to use some of this timber supply and immediately start diverting it over. Because we're spending money already on trying to develop housing in the park. So it feels like to me we should coordinate these two problems. The governor's office did not balk when I suggested this as one of the things we would be exploring. I think that
That'd be great.
it may actually wind up being more cost effective than the way that they're approaching it now. But there are many other potential uses. First of all, Finch is going to continue to take 20 to 30% of their total volume to feed their biomass reactor, and they're going to do that indefinitely. Second, Sobamo has wanted more access to some of the, what they call the timber basket, those that are closest to them. And so some of this may just simply divert from people who are feeding Finch to feeding Sobamo. So we're trying, that's what the point of the study is, to figure out what is the net loss in terms of demand and how quickly could we absorb it with other markets. If we could, we would initiate this study like this fall and try to get answers as quickly as we possibly could.
Have you seen those housing units that they brought in up at the Luzerne, what
The
they
music festival.
music?
No, you're the second one who's told me about that. No.
I think they all came from Pennsylvania, but they came through the guys at home. What's the place on Quaker that's closing? Just got sold to Romeo.
Oh,
the
Garden Time.
The Garden Time. So the brother of the owner of Garden Time, they have those sheds there.
Yeah.
They handled all that.
For the Lake Luzerne
The
Music
housing-
Festival, Elizabeth,
The
the Gardens,
house, yes, the
they're beautiful
housing.
facilities,
The,
and they're doing more.
they've brought a lot of these
What are they?
units.
They're
They're
modular.
Basically,
modular
it's
homes.
movable housing.
the
A
key
lot.
though is that the way they're contracting for those core units is to bring them from Pennsylvania. It's the nearest manufacturer.
Yeah, they're all coming from.
And what I'm
Pennsylvania.
suggesting is that we go
We make them
invest
here.
in developing one that's in the park, not only to use this timber, but to close the carbon footprint gap on that. So we would simply move the timber 25 miles instead of 250 miles. And that would also help the state towards progress on their climate goals without them having to raise prices on energy or electrify more things. So all of this is part of the conversation that we've started with the governor's office that we captured in the study. When we get back to the finances here, there's a lot of moving parts on grants, but we have time to try to sort that out. The parts with the municipalities, and I may ask for your support when it comes time to advocate with the county. We're going to go in with a flat request and hope that we can, try to maintain that or as close to that as we can. I think that's the majority of our funding.
Do they have an economic development committee on their board?
They do have and that's who I
Who's the
reported
chair
to,
of
is
that?
Mike Wild.
Anybody from the city on that committee?
Jack. In the last budget discussion, he passed a resolution to defund us completely.
So there's, it's showing a positive of just under 8,000 so far. But we have a lot of events that we're talking about, so we'll see how that goes.
I believe that part of our strategy is to continue to expand the membership base both south and north and to look at doing work that is aligned with what we're doing in Warren County, but could deliver benefit in other places, like what we're doing on childcare, what we've done on broadband, things like that, and figure out ways to bring more sources of revenue to us when we're doing work that serves not only Warren County, but a larger area of the same work product. So that's our goal. I mean,
Maybe that Pennsylvania modular home would open up a satellite manufacturer.
yeah,
Or move here.
and I think there's a lot of potential sites here in Warren County.
With that much lumber still becoming available.
If it's the appropriate kind of lumber.
Mhm.
Or
So the current timber stock that's used in Finch is what's known as soft pine. It tended to be things that didn't find their way into the traditional timber building supply market. So you would think of that as either ill-shaped or softer trees than the rest. The part of the study will be to figure out how we could use that stock in some composite way that would act like a hardwood.
Mhm.
Because the goal is not to simply say, well, let's cut down different trees, it's to try to find market for the existing stock that was going to Finch. And that will write the RFP to that extent. Jack's helping with this too, he's already done a ton of research in the last 48 hours on this.
Yeah, there's a few technologies that help translate that softwood into something that can be used in construction, modular housing.
I'd, if you do have time, I'd go to Luzerne.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look.
Yeah, I think
Pat Tadich's brother is the landscape architect for that
Oh, okay.
project, and he's good friends with Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, I mean, I'm sure she would love to show you everything. She's very proud of it.
It's pretty interesting.
Why don't you reach out to,
Elizabeth
So-
Pitcairn.
see who can go out and,
who is it?
Elizabeth Pitcairn.
she's the one that runs the
Oh, why
festival.
do I know that
She
name?
plays,
Stradivarius.
World-class musician.
yeah,
Very, very
and
talented.
her mother is too, yeah, very talented.
So
yeah.
the Luzerne Music,
Yes.
yeah, they're contacts for the mosaic. Okay.
Yeah, we need to get him in that boat too.
Well, they did.
And this is a
they
pretty
did
busy
come to
time of
the
the-
early meetings, but I think they've been busy with it.
This is a busy time of the year for them, but I think August maybe slows down a little bit, but they've got a lot of young people that are there that are living on site and, being trained. And
From all around the world.
are they, yes, they're from all around the world, and they're a lot from Canada. Are they done with their?
No, the program still goes on.
There's still.
So till
there
about
might
the
be-
middle of August.
I've only been to one this year summer, but there might be more.
Okay.
It's pretty amazing, and the housing that they build is interesting.
So are the people that they've brought in staying in that house? Is that
New
what,
kids.
oh my, drive up there this weekend.
It's really cool.
We might want to have a conversation with someone at the housing agency too, because they did at one point have, special funding that encouraged,
Yeah,
modular built housing.
move in New York.
I might have worked there at one time, and I might have, I might remember something related to that.
And anything more on the review of the work in progress?
Nope.
Okay, financial projection. Any other business to be brought before the board? And do we need an executive session? Just as a point of reference, the next meeting is August 11th, 4 o'clock here, next governance, August 12th, next board meeting, August 19th. Ask for a motion to
August
adjourn.
11th?
Yes, August 11th for us at 4,
Okay.
August 12th is governance, and then the 19th is the next board meeting. Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second, Judy, all in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstained, that motion
You
carries.
guys got better at that.
She even raised her hand, you didn't see that.
It was very emphatic.
Well, I was gonna argue about going because I just got here and it's nice
I
to
know,
see all
really.
you guys, but I figured you'd yell at me again, so I didn't want to get in any trouble.